So you also mentioned about different opportunities. All right, let's focus on what can be done rather than kind of hypothesizing on what may be done. So you mentioned around maybe a renaissance, I think you called it in your talk. You mentioned it here again, contextual, smart contextual advertising. For
Yeah.
people new to this, or for whoever that might be a new term, what do you mean by that, and how can they leverage it?
Yeah, I mean, it's I don't know, I didn't coin the term, but somebody did. But like it's
Hmm.
what I mean to say with that is contextual targeting was always a big thing at our when we started in performance marketing and growth marketing, right? But as I said before, the user level data was so spectacular and so insightful that everybody sort of became lazy, being a wrong word, but everybody sort of became lazy and sort of started relying on, we have user level data. We know what kind of user is going to convert into long term for a particular app. Why not just let the big machine algorithms churn out the details and, you're going to get the users that you want. Now with the loss of signals at a user level, because in the scan world, for example, there is no user level identifier. What would happen going forward is people are going to come back to the era of contextual targeting, but they're going to be smarter about it. When I say smarter, now I think what folks are going to do is they're going to start looking at their own database, try and understand, like, even on the targeting side. Okay, let's think of it like that. Measurement is affected by the changes that are being happening. Targeting is not affected, right? You can still target users in the form of whatever data you can collect on the basis of insights that you can get from your own database. So what I mean was, like, at a broader level, if you collect data at a bid level, at an auction level, at an impression level, at a click level, at an install level, you go through the entire journey analytically and you understand what kind of users are converting for you, right? You pick that data set and you apply that intelligence to your bidding algorithm and sort of give them a bid multiplier. Let's say, I'm giving an example, for a fact that users who are on iPhone 12 having an OS version above 14.5 in Vegas are converting well for you, right? Now, for a fact if that's converting well for you. I also believe that there could be an expansion of self-serve DSP in certain sense, because what self-serve DSPs will give you is an additional layer of intelligence that you can build on top of those DSPs, that you can say that for these particular user segments, your bid multiplier should be higher so that you can start accessing those user base in a better way. Because we are not buying individual users anymore. We are buying a bucket of users. We're buying a segment of users. And when you're trying to buy a segment of users, you have to become smarter about how you are targeting those users. And that's what I'm referring to as smart contextual targeting, because that used to be an era. It was gone away, but we're going to come back with lot more innovative and smarter solutions going forward.
Nice. The renaissance, as you called it, right? Cool.
The Renaissance, I called it, but I don't want to say it out loud. I could be wrong in the
Well,
future.
this is what I
That's
love
what.
about this. Well, look, because two things will happen here, right? Look, this is what I loved about you talking about what we're talking about here. Two things will happen. Either you're wrong, c'est la vie, all right? Or you're right, and you get to show people this video and say, I told you so. So you're in a win-win
I like the
situation.
second thing. I like the second part.
So, okay, so you talked about smart contextual advertising. I know that when we spoke before, you said that TV could be an interesting avenue, right? Now, based on what you're talking about there as well, I mean, how likely is it to see us making a move there? Are we not like really addicted to the click through the metrics that we rely on to make these kind of decisions? And do you feel they're still going to be accessible through smart TVs and devices like that?
I think connected TVs are going to become very big going forward as an inventory, as a potential inventory for users, because it at least uses IP as the way of actually measurement and doing attribution. But that part aside, what I meant when I said that was, look, there's a consolidation happening across ad tech, right? That would also mean if a lot of partners are coming together and creating their own consolidated marketing stack, it also means that at a broader level, your marketing spend are not going to be divided across 15 odd partners, it's going to be across 10, right? Now, think of it in the way that going forward in a scan world, when you'll have only contextual targeting as an option, you know what kind of inventory you're buying into, right? So instead of working with 10 partners, you might decide, oh, okay, if I know that I'm buying this kind of inventory, why am I working with 10 different partners to buy the same thing when I'm maybe at the end of the day, I'm just sort of outbidding each other, right? At the end of the day. So thinking of that as a potential thing that could happen, you would say that, all right, let's reduce it, make it 5 partners that we're going to work with the same level of smart contextual targeting that you have created with the help of data science and analytics team internally, and then you are left with some money from a marketing dollar standpoint, right? And at that point in time, you start thinking, oh, we are not able to measure even iOS to that extent. Why not sort of try and expand outside the box? And when it comes to outside the box, why not spend some dollars in the marketing brand channels like TV and influencers and podcasts and other stuff where you can sort of create your own brand, and with the help of paid marketing, kicking in at the same time, you can actually double down on the set of users organically as well as through paid. So increasing brand awareness, and hopefully in the long run that could give you higher number of installs. So that's what I meant by uh, you know the expansion into different channels. I think it would start as a test. I'm not saying that people are going to go in that direction. I'm saying TV, not connected TV. I think it would start as a test. A lot of advertisers would dive into it. Maybe some advertisers succeed. Maybe some genres of gaming do not see that kind of a success. And then, the other thing could be I think connected TVs are going to become a big sort of inventory going forward, because as compared to TV, connected TV, which is going to be in every household very soon, that's going to be a good, it's not obviously perfect, but it's still decent in the form of having some sort of insight on the TV attribution.
Amazing. Okay, so again, just to kind of paraphrase on what you're talking about, essentially review all of the different partners and networks that maybe you're looking at, maybe consolidate them and be a little bit more clever and willing to test other areas that may be outside of the norm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Exactly.
So let's take everything you've covered here. Final question, and a bit of a stupid question maybe, but I like them sometimes. So
I
uh,
don't think you're gonna. I don't think you're capable of it, Richard. But please go ahead.
we'll give it a go. So
All right.
if we're looking at everything that you've mentioned here, right? We've said better understand your creatives, do some sort through journey analysis, right, from the start through to the bottom, and consolidate that in order to remember how you're talking to your users in the first place. So that's option one, right? The first thing to do. The second thing maybe being getting involved in prediction and forming some sort
Yeah.
of prediction model that can help you at least try and replace maybe some of those signal loss that you had before.
Yeah.
And the last one being maybe looking at the renaissance of smart contextual advertising as well. Let's say 2022, a company is looking to do one of these things, all right? But by doing one of them,
Yeah.
they couldn't do the other two. So they really just have to just put all their eggs in that basket. Which one do you think is going to be the most valuable thing for them to spend their time on?
Uh, yeah. I would say. I think even in terms of a practical solution, I think creative is the one that people are going to pick up. The only reason being it's also more practical to sort of implement, and it's also you already have a creative team. It's about churning out more creative. It's about evolving and delving into another creative format, like more into rewarded video, more into playables, and sort of thinking of more innovative ways to do maybe brand advertising through creative as well. So I think that's one of the most practical solutions, because uh, you know users responding to ad, that behavior has not changed across iOS devices. The users, if your ad is good enough, if your creative is good enough and you're conveying enough information, and obviously I'm talking in terms of contextual targeting, then your users are going to respond. So I believe that's one of the most practical aspects. I also believe the reallocation or consolidation of marketing spend is going to be the next one. I think that's gonna begin 2022. Maybe we don't even have to. Maybe every ad tech company is gonna just consolidate itself. Never know, but
It's
but
possible. It's possible.
possible given the trend. But yeah, I mean, I think those are the two things that I'll say at the end.
Amazing. Listen, Piyush, I think we've taken up enough of your valuable time. I've absolutely loved every single second of it. So thank you so much for sharing that time with us today.
No, thanks,
Um,
Richard. I really appreciate you inviting me and giving me the space. And there are a lot of jokes that I crack. I don't have one right now. I was thinking, but thanks a lot.
you're welcome. And if anyone wants to pick this up, continue the conversation, is LinkedIn the best way to get a hold of you?
Definitely. Just reached out to me on LinkedIn, because I really, really like talking about these stuffs and I want to learn more. I mean, most of these things I could be wrong, where it's just, these are just predictions which could change, the way things are being dealt with right now. And, things are going to evolve anyway. So LinkedIn is the best way. Please feel free to reach out to me. And yeah, always up for a discussion and anything ad tech related.
And also, obviously, this is a subject very close to your heart, Pierce. So where else can people engage with this kind of content from you?
We also have a podcast that I host with Adam Smart from AppsFlyers. We have an AppsFlyers sponsored podcast called Level Up UA, and that's where also we get into these kind of discussions and these kind of topics all day long. And we also cover a broader spectrum across the ad tech and product as well, because I believe those are our audience segment, not just UA managers but product managers as well. But it will be really, really cool if you guys give it a listen as well at the same time.
Absolutely. And listen, for anyone, there should be a link here directly so you can go through, and I highly recommend that as well.
Yeah.